That's good. And I think this is good. Alrighty. Wonder if I'll get notifications. We'll see. Oh, there we go. Hey, look at that. Oh, let's see if anybody pops in tonight. Bunch of ads I gotta click through. There we go. Well, we'll see if anybody wants to stop in this evening and chat some football, but you never know. Auspicious start tonight. Well, give it a few minutes. Hopefully some people start pouring in. Doesn't seem like notifications must have went out in any kind of grand way. What's that? Oh, Twitch. So, hopefully everyone's had a good day for whoever might be listening at this point. It's kind of just getting started, so. It's been a mediumishly kind of slow week, right? There hasn't been anything like super crazy. What's up, Shane? Kind of just been a slow, so week. A lot of like major returns happened like last week when we were doing the stream, so it was kind of a more news heavy stream. But this time it's like I feel like there's like 5 things that happened that's like worthy of like big news. Other than like I guess you have David Ojabo returning to practice. You know, whenever he's due to return to actual game time, probably a few weeks. But I guess Tua practice, but he's not expected. He's not going to play. You know, just small things that we could talk about at once the stream gets going a little bit. What's up, Jacob? Yeah, you guys got a big game this week coming up. Got out to 4-1. You know, escaped with a narrow win versus the Raiders. If the Raiders maybe weren't so incompetent with game management, maybe who knows how that game goes. Certainly started off and, you know, like the Raiders were going to come out like on fire. Seems like the Raiders are definitely one of the Chiefs' like Achilles heel, much like the Colts are. The Raiders just seem to be like a nightmare for you guys to play. A few teams like that just seem to get the goat of the Chiefs really well. Colts, Broncos, or Raiders are always playing in these weird shootout games with them. Or like quasi shootout type games anyway. What's up, Let's Ride? How's it going? Flag for roughing the passer when QB fumbled. Yeah, there was a lot of bad roughing the passer calls. I'm not really sure what the NFL is doing with the what's up, Daniel? How you doing, Mr. Barry? I'm not really sure what the NFL is doing right now with these roughing the passer calls. I thought for a minute there might be like an emphasis put on like that roll tackle, but then I seen it done to Mahomes, and I went, well, I guess that's not the case. That's weird. So I was a little confused on what's going on. Yeah, I think Browns and Patriots it'll be a really running heavy football game, but it should be pretty good. Do you guys see that the Cardinals Seahawks game will be on Sunday? Will be moved back if the Mariners force Game 4 in the ALDS. That's pretty cool. What's up, Ape? So it sounds like that game will be played at like 4 o'clock rather than its initial start time, or maybe even later, like 7. It's kind of cool. It says the Cardinals are minus 52 favorites. Really? That must be a wrong line or something. That's like I would just go take the Seahawks on principle at plus 52. I'd go put a lot of money on the Seahawks at plus 52. I'd be like, I guess I'll put the whole house on it. Why? Because I'm sure the Seahawks won't lose by 52 points. They lose by 54. I'd be like, what even just happened? How in the fuck how did this happen? In the NFL. Yeah, that's got to be a mistake, or else everybody would be throwing a wild amount of money on that line. You beat the Bucks? Oh, the Buccaneers? Picks record? Not very good. Under 500. I think like 38, 43, and 1. Something like that. It's not very good. Rough start to the season. Typical start to the season, though. I don't really pick well the first quarter of the season, usually. This is about when I pick it up and start rattling off like 12, 11 win weeks pretty consecutively, though. Pretty excited for that to start happening. Probably not. Not till later in the season. I would imagine you wouldn't see people going perfect unless they fluked a week out. Just because, like, the odds of that is very, very low. If you haven't left a like, consider doing so. It might help the stream out. We only have 3 on here, so get some people in. Oh yeah, you're lying. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, just don't even engage with that guy. He's just being a fucking troll. Yeah. I don't believe you, man. No offense. No one will ever believe you. You have absolutely no proof. You got season tickets for the Browns, so I might go to the Browns-Patriots game Sunday. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Ah. Well, I guess that's all you got, huh? ESPN picks are like 52, 54, 27, and 1. I know somebody who actually doesn't have a tie on their record because they actually predicted the game that would be a tie was a tie. What's your profile pic? I can't really see. It's really tiny in my on my phone. I don't know who that is. So I don't know. Do I? Mitchell from the Cavs. Oh, I don't really know who that is, so I'm indifferent to your picture. It's like sure, it's really cool, man. I would say that would be a loss. Yeah, 100% that would be a loss. I don't think the game's going to be very good tomorrow, Jacob. It's the Bears versus Steelers. I'm not really sure what people might be expecting in that one. That's a pretty ugly one. Oh, I don't need to set any of my stuff. I don't care about fantasy like that. If you take it really seriously, I think you're kind of a loser. No offense. Or full offense, actually. Yeah, if you take fantasy football seriously, like, and you get, like, and it's something you do, like, more than, like, just making sure you don't got guys playing that day on Thursday or something. Like, I guess if it's, like, really your thing, that's cool. But, like, it's not for me, man. I'm not a loser. Like, I just can't get into it like that. Like, for me, fantasy football is for people who don't really like football as much as people who don't like football. as people who just enjoy watching. Like I think there's two like people who watch football, and there's one group that like really likes like just watching football. Doesn't really matter. They can watch plenty of different games like I can. Or there's the fantasy football crew. Those are the guys that you don't really expect to see watching football. They're usually kind of nerdy, dweeby. They don't really have a specified team. They're just kind of vaguely rooting for like Chiefs, Eagles? I don't think so. Seems like a very unlikely Super Bowl would be the Chiefs and the Eagles. Can we name a good team that the Eagles have beaten on this winning streak? Kind of the Cardinals. Yeah, if you keep spamming like that, I'm gonna get rid of you, dude. All right, I'm getting rid of you in about 5 seconds. 5. Like all of that could have been one sentence. There, dude. Stop typing like that, or I'm gonna ban you from the chat. I consider that spamming. So you got about like 20 seconds to never do that again. In fact, you're going to get timed out because that's really annoying. Nah, it's not okay, dude. It's not really cool. I hate spammers more than anything. Ruins the stream, people like you. Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible Dallas gives them their first loss, but the problem is with Dallas is they don't really have an offense either. When they're struggle busing to get to like fucking 15 points sometimes, and they get the ball as much as they do on offense, like you should really see how much Dallas turns the ball back over on just like punting it away because their offense is dead in the water. Like they can't throw it most of the time. When they do get like offensive plays, it's like these really weird streaky plays that really don't do much. What's up, Ven? Yeah, but like Ape, you have to look at it this way. What offense do you trust more to make a play? Because you can trust both defenses to shut the team down in a tremendous amount. And the way I look at it, it's like, I don't really trust Cooper Rush and the Cowboys offense to make any kind of big plays against an Eagles defense that's only gotten beat up once. Yeah, against the Eagles, who have a really good defense. It's going to end when Darius Slay picks him like 3 times, and I'm going to be like, thank God. But again, I mean, the Cowboys, again, it's one of them things where it's like the Cowboys defense is probably the best in football this year, though. So, I mean, you could follow your gut and just stick with the Cowboys and probably be right. They're winning games basically just off their defense in 2 big plays. So, can you sustain that? Yeah, we've seen the Ravens do that win a Super Bowl. Is that sustainable in the modern, like, new era modern football? I don't think so. We've never really seen a super defensive I guess the Broncos did it. But again, at quarterback, they had Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? So it's not like they were like led by some like retard at quarterback that had, he knew where to throw the ball. It's just getting it there was questionable. That last year there, you know, he had to get drugged to that Super Bowl. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Cheeto? Yeah, apparently the Cowboys said they're planning to start Cooper Rush though. I know it was against your Pats, but the Lions scoreless. Yeah, the Lions just did not look good against the Patriots. It happens sometimes, Daniel. By the way, if you haven't left a like, consider doing so. Helps the stream out. Gets us up over 10 likes if you haven't done so. I think there's enough people to push us into the double digits. But yeah, it's Dak looks like he's going to try to play, but it looks like they're going to go with Cooper Rush. I mean, I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's, you know what the Cowboys should do right now? Stop the Cooper Rush thing before they get beat really badly with Cooper Rush. And it just, I don't think so, Harold. I just don't really, I was thinking about doing Padres games, but then it's like, I don't know. When the Tigers aren't in it, man, I get really bummed out. I don't really want to watch baseball. I guess if Seattle, I don't know. Yeah, no, it won't ruin the fan base. It'll just ruin Dallas's momentum if old boy comes in and loses. Cooper. But again, Cooper's playing good. It's a complicated situation, but it shouldn't really be one. Like if Bailey Zappi plays this weekend and wins again, and Matt can return. You know how fast Mac is back to being our starting quarterback instantaneously. Bill's already shut that down. He's already like, yeah, there's no quarterback controversy or anything in New England. Mac's the starter, and Bailey can be the back. I think what Bailey's done is proven he can be our backup quarterback. I mean, we don't really know much about Bailey. We just know that he's a backup or he's a rookie. I don't think you can at all compare a guy who's in like what year 7 or year 6 of being a backup quarterback and having having NFL experience versus a guy who, you know, went to Western Kentucky and has played in 2 NFL games. I don't know how I can even begin to compare that. I know they have almost the same amount of career starts, which is hilarious, but you know, yeah, that's kind of the way you can look at it. Like if we had Mac Jones starting this weekend, everyone would probably pick the Patriots to win. Bailey Zappi, he could beat the Browns, but the Patriots have to run like they basically have to like repeat their Lions performance like verbatim. Like the exact same thing they did to the Lions, they have to redo it next week to win. And that's really difficult to do because that was one hell of a performance by the Patriots defense. I don't know how they kept that up for 4 quarters. The only problem is, like, the reason I'm a bit confident in beating the Browns for the Patriots is the fact that the Patriots seem to. One of the X factors, I think, is going to be the Jacoby Brissett question in that game. Is he going to be able to play well enough to beat a team that drafted him, to beat a situation and a coach that drafted him, scouted him, pretty much knows every single. He started games for us, like multiple games. he was like our handpicked starter when Garoppolo. He like 2 games like. The Patriots know old Jacoby Briskets. We Patriots fans have a fondness of Jacoby Brissett. Actually, we like Jacoby Brissett. This is a weird game for us because we all like Jacoby Brissett. We all root for him, except for when he was on the Colts. That was stupid of him to go there. Don't know why you'd go hang out with that weird ass fucking owner of theirs. That dude was trying to sell everybody on Matt Ryan, saying he's an astronaut, a Navy SEAL. That Matt Ryan basically could cure cancer and he could dunk over Michael Jordan. And fucking now we've seen Matt Ryan play and he's all old and broken down and shit, can't move at all. It's like, god damn. Boy, was that ever a miss. Yeah, Brissett, yeah, I mean, he's probably a little pissy. Who cares? He's a backup. What did he say? Oh, the Patriots are a bad team. You know, that's really stupid to do because, we have one of the NFL sack leaders on our teams. I'm sure that's not going to piss anybody off, and we know everything about him. Are we sure it was a shot at what did he say? Seems like Mike is kind of co-signing it. No, I have my money on Matt Ryan being able to cross up Michael Jordan. Little known fact, Michael Jordan was about one of the worst athletes ever. It was all he has animosity. What would be the animosity toward the Patriots? Like what's his big deal with us? Oh, they let me leave. Oh, sorry, buddy. What were we supposed to? What, do you want to stay here and be the backup till Brady left? We didn't know that. You should have said something. Like, is that what you wanted? Maybe you should have been like, hey, man, I'll stay and be a backup because I thought he asked for his release. I don't. Yeah. He's not going to do very good against us. He can have all the animosity that he wants. He's not going to win any football games. I'm going to go out there and shred him. I don't think so, dude. Well, if that's the case, then I hope he gets fucked up, and I hope we win by. I hope we pick him off a few times, which will probably happen. No, we can go. This is Devontae Adams talk. Patriots fans don't deserve. Oh, what's the matter among us? I see you say Mac Jones sucks. We don't deserve Super Bowls. Every team deserves a Super Bowl, right? Except Dolphins fans. And Jets fans, just because, like, kind of fuck them people. Like, fuck the whole fan base. And most of them are just kind of shitty. Yeah, I thought Jacoby was kind of cool. Maybe he's just kind of a competitive guy and he just kind of takes shots at everybody. I mean, that's fine. What was the terrible NFL news today? Any of the game, personally said definitely. I think it's going to be good for us to go out there and make a statement. I know I will. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's not really like talking shit about anybody. I mean, he played here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad that we're a team that teams can make statements against still. Do you know that means like a lot of like you guys know how you guys all seem to think the Patriots are a bad team that nobody respects anymore, that nobody has any like revelry over and no one fears? Do you know how opposite that view is in the actual league? That like nobody like in the actual league thinks that. Everybody else still sees the Patriots as the Patriots, which is like I enjoy the fact that like fans have no idea the way the league is perceived differently. That's why when you see a team beat the Patriots, they still celebrate like they just beat like Tom Brady and the Patriots. It's because they actually just beat Bill Belichick and the Patriots. That's still a pretty fucking big deal. Just sorry to tell you. Teams like still measure their team's ability up against the Patriots as like a very serious marking point for what their team is capable of doing. And we haven't been relevant to you guys, I guess, in 3 whole again 3 whole seasons since we won a Super Bowl, I guess. I don't think that's true at all. Yeah, the Browns with the real quarterback are probably undefeated. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be honest, if Jacoby Brissett wasn't their quarterback, they're probably undefeated. What's up, Robert? We were good last year. We were good, and we're good this year. We just have, like, we're down a quarterback right now, and we switched offenses. I feel like we're one of the few teams that have, like, never, like, that get no fucking, like, break. It's one of them things where we have to be, like, Super Bowl contenders every year, or it's like we miserably failed. We have no seasons to rebuild. We have no seasons for our rookie quarterback and, like, 9 rookie starters to adjust to the NFL. We don't get to rebuild. We don't get any other like things that any other team or like considerations get. If any other team had a second-year quarterback in a brand new offensive system, because their offensive, like they like other teams would be like, listen, you guys got to understand, like there'd be like nuance and context given to a second-year player struggling. Doesn't happen for the Patriots. We're rebuilding right now. This is technically like we're still in like we have 1 bad year of contracts and then we get 70 million next year and no more bad contracts. A lot of people don't understand that we're still in a rebuild. Our like primarily our best positions are a bunch of fucking second and like first year players and then a bunch of old guys. It's quite the issue. Literally, yeah, like the Patriots literally just shut out the number 1 scoring offense, and nobody's acting like it's a big deal. If anybody else shut out the Lions, everybody would be making a fucking big deal about it. You know they would be, by the way. How come no one's making a big deal that the Patriots just shut out the number 1, a team that's averaging 35 a game just got shut out, and no one cares? Do you see how the media works with the NFL? Imagine if the Chiefs played the Lions and won 29-0. They'd never shut the fuck up about the Chiefs defense. They'd be calling it one of the best ever. They'd be like writing articles about how they finally have a defense in Kansas City. It's annoying. That's all. It was 20-7, I thought. Yeah. We beat the Lions 29-0. That's not a big deal. Just the Lions. But they score fucking 40 a game. Yeah, it's not a big deal to shut out the Lions. It's like, why are you doing this? You're acting like this is like the Lions of like a year or 2 years ago. Yeah, that's like the third time you said that, Harold. If you keep saying it, I will remove you. I don't like spamming. Yeah, it's silliness. I tend to just. It's why you always got to wonder why, like. I don't know. Yeah, and then 0 against the Patriots. They go 35, 36, 24, 48. And prior to the Patriots game, their last game, their 5 games prior to playing the Patriots, they had scored 35 plus, 35 plus, 35 plus, 24, and then 48. And then they got zeroed. I don't know. Again, a lot of the stuff you see is just silly. What's up, Amir? What's up, Kenny? Don't engage with Harold. He's just fucking he's just trolling. He's not a real person. So, Davante Adams. I guess we could start with him. If you want to talk about one of the dumbest what's up with Raiders wide receivers doing really stupid things? Very very good iconic duo. I would never give the Chiefs credit, but I think Mahomes is pretty solid, man. They get so mad. Who gets so mad? Jacoby Brissett said he wanted to eat, but yeah, okay, see you later, dude. Yeah, oh, they get so mad. Yeah, it's like Henry Ruggs. Now we got Davante Adams, who had been like a saint prior to this. Fucking just all of a sudden just fucking shoves the shit out of some poor guy. See, I think one of the things is a lot of people are acting like it wasn't a big deal that he shoved him. Usually I would agree, right? I'd usually be like, yeah, it wasn't even that hard of a shove. Who gives a shit? Get up, dude. Why are you pretending like you got like beat the fuck up? But like when you look at the reality of that situation, there's 2 types of ways you could fall and be pushed down, right? There's you're kind of facing the person, so like when you get shoved, your brain immediately puts like on like a bunch of defenses that like you don't even necessarily know you're doing, right? You kind of fall down like, no, Kenny, he's not going to win it because of this factor right here. There's a bracing factor that'll happen when you're shoved straight up. Now, when you're jogging across the middle there, we see what happens when a defenseless receiver gets hit across the middle. They almost always die. That's the play that sends guys to the hospital, by the way. This guy is going across the middle, essentially. He has no idea this is going to occur, so his body's not bracing for any kind of contact as he's running to go do his job. So when he gets pushed, his body goes fluke, and because he's holding something, he doesn't let go of what he's holding, so he lands straight like this. Davante Adams is lucky he didn't like shatter his fucking tailbone on that turf. If he'd have pushed him slightly harder, he probably has a serious injury on his hands. It's like a curse in it's like a what's up, Mirth? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, it's 100% a curse in for the Raiders. You got Moss, Brown, Ruggs, Davante. Like Davante is again, he's very lucky that didn't result in like serious damage, because boy oh boy, somebody with like weaker bones, that could have been all kinds of like torn ligaments and shit, because again, that sideways push is a problem. He's gonna get in trouble because the sideways push, by the way. Again, if he'd been straight up with somebody, kind of like jawing with them and then shoved them, a little different, you know. You can, but like it's like, dude, that guy didn't even know you were there. Like those guys are always running across in front of players. They have to know. Again, when the guys get pushed and shoved by players all the time. Like, and when and you can kind of see they always get back up pretty okay, because again they're bracing for it. They kind of see it coming a little bit. They may get wiped the fuck out and hit hard, but they get up. No, he shouldn't go to jail. What the fuck? No, he shouldn't even be in like serious legal trouble. I'm pretty sure he's getting hit with like a misdemeanor. Like I don't even know if it's gonna rise to criminal misdemeanor. But he's probably gonna have to pay some pretty hefty fines and probably have to go to some anger management or some shit. And then he's gonna get sued probably. That's the part where I think most damages should come from in this, is he should be sued and probably suspended for a game. You can't be like shoving league employees around. That's actually a really bad look for the NFL, to have your players beating the shit out of guys that are hired by like the team and the league itself. It's probably a bad look. So that's my thoughts on the Davante thing. Surprised he hasn't been suspended yet. Because it's like, I don't know. I feel like touching league employees is one of them things where it's like, yeah, that at least warrants a game. I mean, yeah, it's pretty far down the list, except for if you consider the fact that, like, if you were at work and you shoved one of the custodians, you'd go to jail. I mean, workplace violence isn't like a no big deal. I'd say that's pretty high on the list. That's some shit you can't be doing. If he would have shoved another player, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, well, that's just part, deal with that in private. But like, dude, that's just some guy that works for the league getting beat up on by a fucking player. That's about as bad a look as you can get outside of like guys like beating up. Like, I don't even think players fighting outside the league is that bad. I mean, that's kind of a bad look, but it's like, are you really ever surprised if you hear like, oh, Aaron Donald got into a fight outside of a bar? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck about that. I don't fucking know. Ooh, football player got in a fight equals some dickhead got drunk and tried to fight him, and he fucking got beat up for doing it. It's always that, too, whenever you see the clip. It's like, I've never yet seen a case where, except for like Aaron Hernandez, where he just kind of, but again, that's like debatably self-defense. And the Bears player ran into his spine with his helmet. It was an accident. Oof. Yeah, a lot of those are like accidents, but what Davante did was just a straight up shove, dude. And even he admitted, he's like, I fucked up. I shouldn't have did that. That was bad. You know, it would have been hilarious, and I would have immediately forgiven Davante and been like, I don't think he should get anything, actually. Is if he would have been like, I thought it was Hunter Renfrow. I'm gonna be really honest. He like goes in front of the media and goes, you know, I had a bad moment, but I'm going to be real honest. I fucking thought that was Hunter. And I was mad as fuck at Hunter Renfrow, and I thought that was him. I was fucking having a moment, thought it was Hunter fucking trying to do it again, so I shoved him. I'd have been like, oh, that's understandable. He was just, PTSD. That's a tough time. You think that excuse would have worked? But also, one of the things I wonder about that situation as well, why didn't Davante Adams go find that guy before he could go to the police? Go find that guy before like he did anything and make sure he leaves not wanting to like make anything official, like type situation. Like, hey man, how about some money and this just never goes further and you just decline to talk to anybody about anything? Don't, I could hook you up with season tickets, some really good fucking game worn gear. I can get you lots of cool shit, man. That's what I would have done if I ever even if I accidentally hurt somebody, I'd be hooking up, throwing them cash and shit. Probably just been, well, there goes my game check. Like, that would have been like, oh, that's an easy decision. I'll just give him the game check. Who the fuck runs Davante Adams' PR camp or like management where that wasn't immediately fucking taken care of? Oh yeah, it was 100% on purpose, Shane. But he could have probably prevented legal charges and being sued by the guy had he just gone and like fucking given him a bunch of shit and been like, "Listen, man, I'm fucking sorry, dude. I fucking. Are we cool, Joe? Like, give him like 10 grand or some shit. Most people would be fine with that. Like, sign the game worn jersey. Like, dude, can you imagine like if that happened to you? It's like, and like they came up to you and were like, "Hey man, I fucked up," you know, like, and didn't just apologize on like social media and says, "Hope you see this, dude." I'd be like, you know what? That apology is why I'm gonna go to the police. Fuck this guy. That might be why he went to the police. I'd have been like, really? Is this how he's gonna handle this? Are you really? I'm gonna sue the fuck out of this guy. He couldn't give me like a jersey. So I don't know. Davante kind of gets what he deserves on this one. This one's piss poor planning, in my opinion. You gotta go with the gifts. You gotta pile them up. You gotta buy this man's silence at that point if you're Davante. Because you already know. I mean, you've already basically given the money. 100%, Maris. What's up, Daniel? Like, you already know you're losing money when your hands extend and connect with the fucking tiny man. If you're Davante, no matter what, you're out money. You might as well just realize, like, the second your hands touched him, you lost. Money's gone. So you better start making lateral moves to try to limit the damage and try to make yourself look really good. Because if you make like a giant offer to the guy and then he goes to the police, then nobody's against you. Because it's like, hey man, he fucking apologized, tried to give him a signed jersey, tried to give him tickets and shit, tried to like do a whole bunch, gave him a bunch of money, and the guy was like, no. Yeah, exactly, Shane. He did everything wrong. And if I'm Davante, I'm fucking firing everybody who's associated to my management firms. I'd be like, well, why didn't you guys tell me to like handle? Why didn't we handle this better? Well, Davante, we thought it was okay for you guys to beat up people at work. I'm going to be very honest. We didn't know in the NFL that you guys weren't just allowed to beat the dog shit out of league employees. Davante's like, wait, huh? Yeah, we thought at the NFL you guys were just savages. Will I be sad? No, I don't expect the Patriots to win a lot of games with the rookie quarterback in there, especially one that probably shouldn't be starting quite yet. But hey, if we win, we win. If we don't, yeah, all right. Hopefully Mac will be back soon. I have very tempered standard. What's the word? Tempered expectations when my team is injured. I take all wins as moral victories when we win. I also find most of those to be some of the greatest shit-talking wins I could ever deliver. Like, for example, to my Lions friends. They lost to a hilarious version of the Patriots. Yeah, Jabo's back. What's up, Tater Chip? Like, for example, if we would actually somehow beat... He is the defensive rookie I've been waiting to see. Who's going to win defensive rookie of the year? No, I haven't yet, Mirth. I was a little busy. I'm going to check them out tomorrow morning, though. I don't have class till like for a week from now, so I've got free time now. I'm going to get caught up on works and get a bunch of shit started. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty much in my fall break. Who do you guys think something because there isn't a ton of news. Like again, outside of like 3 guys returning, it's pretty slow news wise. And they're all just not playing. They're all just like practicing. Mac is practicing, Dak is practicing, and so is Tua, but they're all basically not playing this weekend. That's like the news, by the way. That's oh yeah, Matt Rule got fired. But like I feel like that's not really even that big of news. Like, you guys know how like low key no one gave a fuck about Matt Rule getting fired? You know how funny I find that? That guy, he got fired, but he's fired. No, I don't want Mac to get rushed back either. Bailey Zapp's playing fine enough, and I don't expect much this season anyway. I'm calling this a transition year to the new offense. We'll have Josh McDaniels back about week 7 at this rate, as you know. So I'm not too worried. I feel like that's a very funny line that no one's going to give me any credit for, but I feel like that was like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 joke. No, I don't want him back either. Fuck that. I'd rather keep Matt Patricia. I like the West Coast offense. I like where the Patriots offense is going. Yeah, this is a rebuilding. Exactly. When he got fired, I was like, ooh, who can we trade for? Brian Burns. Yeah, the Panthers. I do want to talk about that as well. Are the Panthers about to go into a fire sale? If I was Tua, I would have retired. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have retired if I was Tua. I mean, head injuries suck, but it's also like, I don't know. He got, again, I keep saying Tua got lucky with his head injury because, like, that could have gone way worse. That whole thing could have been, like, 1 degree worse, and he could be off. My name is Tua, and I am an NFL cornerback. I was an NFL cornerback, and I used to throw it very far. And everyone's like, yeah, we know, Tua. That's really good, buddy. It would have been really, really patronizing to ever talk to the guy. I think they need to work in more play action. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's just, like, that kind of stuff is just, that's not really Patricia. That's just, this offense has to learn how to goddamn run the West Coast offense. That's all that is. Against Baltimore, we ran a fuckload of RPOs. The run pass options. West Coast is less play action, but a lot of RPOs. And the Patriots with Mac Jones running it, even Bailey Zappi, to some extent, was running a ton of RPOs with the Patriots the last game. But with Mac, yeah, we run primarily run pass option. News suggests Panthers organization isn't trading DJ Moore. Really? I know DJ Moore isn't like interested in a trade, which is quite fascinating. Who does West Coast? San Francisco. A lot of teams. San Francisco. I think the Rams run a modified West Coast. The Vikings run a modified West Coast. Technically, every player related to Shanahan's run a modified West Coast. Like, they all have, like, their own slight variation on what the West Coast offense is. The Patriots run the exact same offense as the 49ers, so it's like a run-centered, very heavy RPO-paced West Coast offense. Yeah, the Chiefs run, West Coast because of Bill Walsh and how close Andy Reid is to the Bill Walsh directly. Almost every team runs the West Coast offense. It's just like there's like a slight variation to like 1 or 2 parts of it to like you'll add an RPOs example and keep like completely in the shotgun all RPOs and take away like a couple passing situations like rollouts and shit and just do RPO. Like it's such a variable offense. And Josh McDaniels is one of the only people who goes, I don't run a West Coast. I run a Power I. It's just like, all right, Josh, fucking bum. Big Pharaoh, they have a terrible ego problem. They all want to be Bill Belichick. And the players that they get in don't respect them as Bill Belichick. If they came in as just normal human beings, like Brian Flores did, they'd actually probably be pretty solid head coaches. But again, it's the ego of these coordinators that get way the fuck too in the way. Yeah, I also think the Patriots would have been moving on with Josh. If Josh didn't get a job with the Raiders, I don't know how much longer he would have been around because I know Bill Belichick really wanted to move on to the West Coast offense and modernize. Because that power I bullshit's got to go. If you have a fullback in 2022, it's like, why not just get 2 tight ends? What are you doing? Yeah, Brandon Bolden. Oh. Let's get a running back who can't catch the ball in 2022. Why? The fuck would you want a running back for who can't catch a football in the year in the 2020s? Why would you have a running back with brick hands? Like, are those guys even like? Is there actually any value to a running back who can't catch? Unless it's like Derrick Henry. Even he can catch the goddamn ball, so it's like, well, it's just like one of them things where it's like, what value is there in a back who has like bad hands? You know what I mean? It's like, why not just go play something on defense, dude? Like, go play safety. You could probably play safety. Texas News, Texans fell from the number 1 pick. Oh no. All the way to the number 1 to the number 6. Holy shit. Yeah, that's what I mean. Even Henry can catch the ball. He worked on his hands and got him good. And he didn't even need to have good hands. He could just eat people. So it's like, if you're a running back with bad hands, just quit. It's like, go play safety or something. You could probably play a mean safety as a running back. Or a linebacker. A lot of running backs in like high school football also play like linebacker. It's really weird. Like, I know how to destroy you. Can you imagine if Jimmy G makes another deep playoff run? I'd be like, see, I told you guys, the 49ers are better off with Jimmy G. And this dude's gonna win the NFC West with fucking 18 touchdowns and 13 interceptions and 5 fumbles, and everyone's gonna be like, what is this? Why do they keep winning with this guy? How is this even possible? You know, my fucking nose is bothering me. Yeah, that's the only problem with Jimmy G. That's the only actual problem you can say that there is with Jimmy Garoppolo. And that, you know, technically he'll probably never win you a game, but the problem... Hold on, I might have to deal with something. Hold on. NFC East turned into the NFC Beast. Yeah, same with the AFC East. You got 3 pretty good teams, and the Jets are coming up. NFC East is going to crash down at the midpoint of the season. Miami lost his pick, and the only pick they have. You know, I still wonder if Miami fans are like, nah, we made the right pick. Tua's way better than Justin Herbert. You think they just sit there going, I'd be so goddamn... I'm so happy they didn't draft Justin Herbert, you guys. Giants beating the Ravens, really? Well, what's your thoughts on that, if you don't mind sharing? I think the idea of having Wink Martindale as the coordinator does help the Giants, but there's also sort of this double-edged sword of having Wink Martindale as the coordinator. The Ravens 100% know the defense the Giants are running at them. That's my big thing. Dude, the Dolphins with Herbert, it would be unreal. It would literally be like, well, there's your Super Bowl team. They're winning the Super Bowl. The Dolphins with Herbert win the Super Bowl this year and next year and however long they have Hill and Waddle for. Oh, man, I'm so glad they didn't do that. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine Herbert with Hill and Waddle and Gesicki? Oh, with that defense that they'd literally be like, what, are they going undefeated? Are they going 17-0 and then winning the Super Bowl with that fucking offense and that defense? I would literally be like, there's no excuse to lose. Herbert would get too concussed. Yeah, I mean, their offensive line is kind of dog shit, actually. The New York Giants wide receiver is the field turf. That's true. Vince said, we've seen the Giants do. Yeah, I don't know what to think with the Giants. Again, I think Vince kind of right. We'll probably see them kind of collapse. But also, it's one of them things where we don't really know what the Giants are. Because, again, new management, with Brian Daboll, they figured out how to run the ball. I think that's one of the things that coaches have been trying to figure out with the Giants is how to unlock that running game that they should have. And Brian Daboll seems to be the first coach to be looking at Daniel Jones, looking at the speed things and going, he looks like he's going like this. He's like, does he run? And now, dude, I think he ran like 14 times last week. And I'm like, oh, they're actually doing it. They're finally running that. So Brian Daboll finally went, why don't we run Daniel Jones? Why don't we let this fucking dude run the football? Just tell him if there's nothing, just take off. Literally, he runs so well with the football. It's hilariously how like it's like actually funny that like it took like 4 years for a coach to be like, yeah, exactly. Same with that, Ven. He's got Saquon running good again. He's got Daniel Jones. He figured out how to let Daniel Jones run the ball. I mean, it's not a good offense, but it's if you can do enough to score, what? I don't know, 20 points, you'll probably win a decent amount of games with that defense. Easier said than done, Cheeto. I would have to say easier said than done. The Ravens can't throw the ball down the field. He can only throw to Andrews if he can contain Lamar and make him have some turnovers. I mean, that's easier said than done. I think the issues come from, boy, oh boy, if your defense is a little undisciplined, Lamar will kind of make him look pretty bad. The big plus to the Ravens or to the Giants in this game is that the Ravens haven't played like a full game, except I guess against the Patriots this year. Their defense played the second half pretty well, not the first half. It's like a weird thing where they play good one half, and like it's all. It's like I would say the Ravens just playing a full game. If they can like stop fucking getting in their own way, they would be a terrifying team because they come out of the gate sometimes looking like they're gonna drop 40 points by the fourth quarter, and then they just stop scoring at halftime. Like I've seen some ridiculous scores for this team. They, like against the Dolphins, weren't they at like 31 points at halftime? Lamar had set all kinds of weird fucking records and shit for like. He was like 7 of 8 with like 4 passing touchdowns. It was like, what the fuck? He had like 210 passing yards too. It was like, and then they scored like 10 more points throughout the entirety of the game, and there was like it was like 21 points. Yeah, it was literally like 21-0. It was 3 passing touchdowns, 200 yards on 7 throws. It was like, what are the Ravens doing to this team? And then they lost really bad. Blew a like 30, 20, and a 17. Yeah, and against the Patriots, they almost blew a lead too. It was hilarious. If it wasn't for the Patriots beating themselves like they did against the Dolphins, that would have been a loss for them. Oh my God, my nose, dude. Why is it like this? Only because I'm talking. Never bothers me 90% of the day. Just literally just never does. It's always there. And then it just itches for the entirety of a stream. It'll be like, oh, I'm just, don't mind me. I know you wanted an itchy nose. Like, no, actually, I fucking didn't, you fucking retard nose. Part of me just wants to bash myself in the face really hard to stop it from itching, but then I'm like, oh wait, don't do that. You'll fuck yourself up, dude. Never do that. Sometimes you like rub your like fist really hard against an itchy spot on like your leg, it stops itching. But like you can't just fucking wallop yourself in the nose to maybe like reset the nerve ending or something to make it stop itching. If you do that, you'll fuck your shit up. You break your nose, probably. Cowboys-Eagles game. It's going to be a terribly boring defensively oriented football game. Hold on, just give me another second, guys. I'm gonna. That's annoying. I've been browsing NFL teams since the Rams relocated. I was really close to becoming a Colts fan last year, but Carson Wentz decided to. Yeah, I don't know. Carson Wentz really wasn't the problem with them last year. Didn't he throw like 27 touchdowns and like 6 picks? If you think he's the reason that team lost games last year, I don't know. I don't think that's right. Unless you think like all 6 of his picks were like game losing picks. Which I mean, I guess you can hold that opinion, but statistically he's not the reason they lost games. Not really sure why the fuck they lost a lot of games, but I don't know if it was exactly just the fault of Carson Wentz. I don't know what's up with the Colts. They seem to be one of those teams that just everyone thinks they're going to be a lot better than what they wind up being. Like it's like a consistent thing with them. They always kind of just suck. Like I don't know what it is about the Colts. Ever like post Peyton Manning, they've just been like this consistently awful football team. Like you can like kind of just guarantee like they're going to be like the most super middle of the road team ever. They're just like, I guess they don't really suck, but they're not that good. They seem to play really good against like the best teams, but against everybody else, they're kind of like extremely average. It's like I guess that's an identity to have. Yeah, we're the team that's good against all the good teams and pretty mediocre against everybody else. I don't even know if they're on the fringe. I just think they're like a bad team that plays really good against good teams and just really bad against the rest of the league. I don't know what to consider that. I don't think that's a very good team, though. You know what I mean? Like that feels to me like a bad football team that kind of just. Yeah, that was my favorite part too. Like their fucking pipsqueak quarterback trying to fight off tacklers and shit, and then being like, "Why am I always hurt?" It's like I don't know. Fucking Poindexter. Maybe quit trying to truck fucking organic linebackers and fucking humongous linemen. Why? I'm just as tough as them. Like, who told you that, Andrew? Who like gave you that advice that it would be a probably good idea to go ahead and just run right into them big old linemen like that? Just go down. Nope, now he has to retire early because he got hurt all the time. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the Colts. Maybe other people are like, no, dude, the Colts are, they won a whole Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. One whole Super Bowl. And you're going to be hating. Yeah, I'm going to be hating. That's as hilarious as the Packers winning a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and then one other Super Bowl with Brett Favre. Like, wow, what a legacy. That's certainly I guess that's pretty successful if that's your standards. If you were the Lions, you'd be like, yeah, that's a really good run for us. But if you're like the Packers, I think like you have those two quarterbacks for like almost 30 years combined. It's like you'd expect at least 3 Super Bowls, right? Not one a pop. Like, you know what I mean? For a team that's as like hyped up as the Packers are and as highly regarded as the Packers are. It's always been one of my major questions about them, right? It's like What's up with them 2 Super Bowls? I've watched my team lose more Super Bowls than that. Just to put that into perspective. I don't find that very good. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo gets to a ton of NFC Championship games. It's like, oh, that's cool. But it is kind of like this hilarious irony that the Packers seem to lose to the 49ers all the time, which is Aaron Rodgers' like favorite team. And it's just fucking Jimmy Garoppolo. So to me, you guys got to understand, like, I'm a big Jimmy Garoppolo fan. He's beaten the Packers so many times. It's kind of one of those things I hold with, like, certain teams. If you can just beat them and just, like, make miserable an entire fan base with a simple win, I'm a big fan. It's like the Russell Wilson stuff. I refuse to badmouth Russell Wilson. I'm sure they'll get that thing going out there. Let's ride. Because, again, that win versus Peyton Manning was so revolutionary. He changed the game and made it possible for your Kyler Murrays, your other small non-white quarterbacks, I guess, to get in the game. So Russell's a good guy. I guess there's Baker too, kind of. And then Russell, like, I even like Russell Wilson more because then in the very next Super Bowl, he threw a fucking stupid pass and gave the Patriots Super Bowl. I really think he's a great guy. It's just, his fucking coaching needs to be a little better. But, we'll get it going. Yeah, big Russell Wilson guy. That guy's done nothing but make me happy as a football fan. Same with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, if he would have been able to beat Patrick Mahomes, he'd probably be the second best quarterback in the NFL to me next to Tom Brady in terms of, like, hierarchy. I'd probably be like, well, there's Brady, then the 4-ring Garoppolo or 3-ring Garoppolo who's beat Rodgers and Mahomes to get a Super Bowl. That'd have been crazy, by the way, if Garoppolo could have said that year. Be like, well, who'd you win to get your Super Bowl? Well, I beat the Packers and I beat the Chiefs. Almost happened, too, if his defense would have just fucking held up in that fourth quarter. Son of a bitch, dude. I could still be talking shit about Mahomes not having any rings. He still only has the one, though, so that's pretty hilarious. You guys think he's on his way to beating Brady yet? You think he's got 6 more in his body somewhere? I wish there were Chiefs fans here because they'd say yes. That's what I appreciate about Chiefs fans. They don't really falter. That's the one thing I do like about, like, stupid fandom is, like, it's fun to argue with because, like, they don't see any other fucking outcome. And it reminds me a lot of young me. Because if young me would have been in a live stream in 2005, I'd have been like, dude, Tom Brady is way better than all you bitch ass motherfuckers. Suck my dick. And I'd have been talking shit at the streamer about how Brady was going to be the GOAT one day. And they'd be like, dude, he's never going to pass Montana, dude. Shut the fuck up. And I'd be being called an idiot. And I'd be like, dude, you don't understand. Peyton Manning is overrated. And, like, I'd be running fucking streams miserable if this was 10 years ago. Or about 16 years ago, even. Jesus Christ. Yeah, if this was the middle 2000s, I'd be a menace in these kind of places. And then I'd come back in 10 years to the person and be like, so what's good, bitch? And they'd be like, oh, no, not this fucking guy. I came back after that. I visited, I sent messages to certain people on Facebook that I used to argue with after the Falcons Super Bowl. And I was like, so is this over? You finally going to say I was right all these years? No one really responded except one guy who told me to go fuck myself. And I thought that was hilarious. I was like, I'll take that as a victory. I'll hold the conversation. I'll make sure I let you know I won. I told everybody a long time ago that Brady was going to wind up being the GOAT. And everybody was like, no, you're wrong. I was like, fucking, no, I'm not. Watch this. And then it happened. Good long-term call there. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were, Cheeto. Yeah, I don't see it either, stud. I don't really see the Chiefs surpassing Brady's standing. You gotta I feel like you have to win 2 or 3 Super Bowls really quick to get to where Brady got to. Just because it's like you gotta win 4 more after you win 3. It's like you gotta win a whole career's worth of Super Bowls for some people after you already won 3 of them. Like to me that's the craziest part is like you can get halfway there and get to 3, right? And be like, whew, all right, I'm about to tie Montana. How many more do I got to do? 3? It took me 12 years to get these 4 rings. You know what I mean? Like it's so fucking stupid to think about. I don't know I don't think I got the time to get 3 more. So like yeah, you almost got to get 3 within like almost inside that first contract just so you could try to get 4 more the rest of your career. And it's like if you can't pull it off, then it's like boy. And Mahomes has an outside shot of doing it if he wins this year and then within the next 2 years to get his 3rd one and then just never gets hurt. It's just one of the things it's like, all right, man, every year you're healthy, you can basically win a Super Bowl. Just never get hurt again. You got to kind of have the durability Brady had as well, where you got one season where you can get hurt and miss games and kind of fuck the season up. But like outside of that, you got none. That's all you got. You really can't be missing games either. Except if it's like week 17 and there's no reason for you to play anymore and, you know, you're playing Buffalo. Well, I guess you guys would have to try if you're playing Buffalo. I can't say that. Fuck, dude. It's so weird in the NFL now. I don't know who, like, the joke teams are. Because you can't just be like, oh, look at it's the Jets. It's like, well, the Jets have a promising future now. It's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. It's the new football. What the fuck? Look at the... Yeah, I don't think so either, Fat Tater Chip. And what's even crazier is if the Patriots somehow win against the Browns, I believe Bill Belichick ties Don Shula's record or passes it. All I know is Dolphins fans are going to be fucking salty soon. Oh, their special boy is about to get passed. By fucking Bill Belichick, the devil himself. I can't wait. Can't wait to rub that in some Dolphins fans' faces. Oh, they're gonna love that. They love Don Shula in Miami. Bill's about to pass that old man in 2 wins. Oh, they're gonna be so fucking pissed. Miami fans they don't like that shit at all. They will not handle it well. I was like, well, it looks like Shula's going to have to come out of retirement or something then, because he's about to be in 3rd place by quite a bit. Again, by the way, if you want to know when Bill is planning on retiring, look to the season after he breaks the win record for coaches. I think that's his, I think he wants to be number 1. I do think they should somehow find a trophy to name after Belichick. I don't know if the Coach of the Year trophy has a name yet, but it should probably be named after Belichick. Like I don't really understand like Executive of the Year trophy should probably be named after Belichick, like something like that, where it's like, well, I mean, how else do you honor a coach as good as Belichick when he retires? Do you fucking hyphen his name onto the Lamar Hunt Super Bowl trophy? Do you name like the AFC title trophy after him? Like, do you like, you know what I mean? Like you can add a hyphen to the name. Not being able to knock defense around 2014. Yeah, but I would also say that you could also say the Patriots took advantage of Super Bowl Lombardi. Yeah, that's what I mean. You can make it the Lombardi Belichick or the Hunt Belichick trophy. I do think you could do that with a guy like Bill. His contributions, not even in just coaching, but in total, just like the influence he's had on the game is fucking unreal. Defensive schemes, like I think he like masterminded cover zero. I think that's like literally, and like he's like super responsible in the creation of like the defensive end position with Lawrence Taylor. He was like very involved in all that shit. Like he has such a fucking wildly like good history. Lawrence Taylor credits a lot of his success with Bill Belichick, or at least he did. I don't know about now. He might not like Bill anymore. Bill has nothing but positive things to say about LT, but I don't know how he feels. He's all fucking weird. I think the Packers win and the Bears lose. They will have the most wins of all time. The Packers? I think so. Yeah, the Packers have a shitload of wins. It's just individual coach would be Belichick. He's coming out Lombardi pretty quick. I think Lombardi's number one, right? Or is it the guy on Hank Hill they always fucking joke about? It's Shula? Is Belichick coming up on Shula? NFL coaching wins all time. Is he really that fucking close? Oh, it's Hollis. Okay. Hold on a second. Oh, it's combined postseason. Okay. Found it. Who is he about to pass? Oh, I see what he's about to pass. Okay. Belichick for most wins with a single team is what he's about to pass somebody in. Belichick has 256 career wins with the New England Patriots. Shula had 257 wins with the Dolphins. And George Halas has 318 wins with his team, but so that would put Belichick in his second all time with total wins with one team. But yeah, Belichick needs a few seasons to catch up to Shula and them. Oh shit, I didn't mean to close that. Yep, he's just got to last a few seasons. I knew there was something he was about to pass everybody or pass people up in. I was like, what's the exact thing he's passing people in? And it was most wins on or second most wins on a single team for a coach. Damn, Aaron Rodgers is sitting out of practice with a bad thumb. Packers fans worried. Aaron done. Yup. I think that's all time wins. Yep. Hollis had all his wins with one team. That's pretty crazy. All right. Oh my gosh, man, that's itchy. I'm gonna go grab another soda really quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. But yeah, I don't know. See if there's any big news I happen on the old Twitter sphere. Man, this is annoying, dude. Oh my god, man. Eee. All right, let's see. I don't know. Nothing too crazy. Again, like I said, the news is kind of dry, like slow. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of just see small things. You know what I mean? It's just it's just random, like 3 guys coming back from injuries, and it's like small time roster moves being announced. Kind of a slower week, but that's all right. I don't know. Outside of the Devontae Adams things, there's just just kind of a drab, waiting for shit to blow up and happen kind of week. I don't know. Tomorrow should be a football game, right? It's a good one. Commanders, Bears, a lot of high flying action. You know, you got Justin Fields versus Carson Wentz, the best ginger quarterback in the NFL, or second best, versus Justin Fields. He's pretty cool too. Best guy who looks like Justin Fields in the NFL. Can't say I'm wrong. Yeah, yeah. It's not a very good coaching tree. They all could be good coaches if they just cut out their bullshit. I guess Saban's pretty solid, but I don't know if he really counts because he's college. Crazy matchup, going to be a very good and fun game. Yeah, I mean it's I would say it's a early contender for a game of the year in my opinion. Fat Tater Chip. You got Ron Rivera versus I don't know who the Bears coach is. Some guy. Old buddy, old boy, old buddy, old pal, head coach for the Bears. My Mans is the head coach of the Bears. I actually don't know who it is. Is it Grady Jarrett? Is it Rod Marinelli or some shit? Like I think it's a goofy coach like that. I know it's not Nagy anymore. Fuck is it? Jim? No. Some uncle from the family cookout that thinks he could be. Yeah, that's basically who their coach is. You know, it sounds like it. It's Lori Lightfoot wearing a costume. She's like, I'm NFL coach. She just dresses up like a coach. Yeah, Niner gang, you guys ruined the Panthers. They're gonna be getting rid of everybody. They fired their coach. I think they fired a coordinator. They're probably gonna trade everybody. They're just like, yeah, I gotta blow it up. It's ruined. This isn't gonna work. Why? We lost bad. It's just bad. We shouldn't be losing games by these scores. We're far too talented to be this bad. I wonder how far it goes, though, the complete destruction of the team. Matt Eberflus, that's what it was. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good hire. Seems like a really bad idea to hire a defensive coach to a team that needs some offense. You know, hey, it's a bold strategy, you know, just double down on making the Bears even more defensive than they already were. Oh, you guys even dominated the crowd? Oh boy. Well, to be fair, you guys travel well as like a fan base. They're just, I don't think there's that many Panthers fans, so it's kind of like one of them things where it's like, yeah, you overpowered the Panthers, but how hard was it? All 20 of them show up. It's like, yeah, that's their whole fan base, all 20 people. You don't really see a lot of random like Panther fans on the internet. That's how I can always tell what teams have large fan bases and what teams don't, based basically just on internet presence. It's like if you like do news about a specific team or like cover their games, and like I can tell what teams just don't have a lot of fans and what teams do. Like if I cover a team, like it's almost like it's easy to like I can look at my streams. Like for example, the last primetime game was the Raiders and the Chiefs. Those two teams have fucking huge fan bases, and that was a wildly viewed stream. Dolphins Bengals, two teams with huge bandwagon fan bases, and that was that was my biggest stream in a really long time. But again, Monday night, like games like that, I pretty much am pretty aware of how it's gonna go. Versus like Colts Broncos, a game that had like 10 people at it, and I was bored to death while I was calling it. You know what I mean? Like it was just it's mainly the point being Colts don't have a lot of fans. Broncos do, but they have a lot of like there's like a fuckload of Broncos content creators on the internet. So and like all of them stream games, so like they all just kind of steal like people from each other. I hate playing certain teams too because they always if they have like good internet people, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get anyone at this stream today. Everyone's gonna go watch this guy. That's always a bummer. Surprised the Bears didn't target Bieniemy, but Bieniemy might be. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Eric Bieniemy. It seems like no one wants to hire that guy, and I'm wondering if he's either just like a bad interviewer, like isn't as prolific in the offense as people would like us to think. That's what I've heard from LaShawn McCoy. Kind of implied that, or just kind of outright said it that Bieniemy really don't do shit. It's all it's all Andy and Mahomes. Which would make sense because like it went like Nagy just kind of disappeared as a coach. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe it is something to that. Maybe it is just Andy Reid. And his coordinators just kind of, they're there for show and whatnot, but yeah, that's a good point too, Bears. Yeah, and Fat Tater Chip, they did just fail with Matt Nagy. So I don't think they wanted to go back to Kansas City. Plus, Bieniemy has like a very weird history from when he was like 18, where he like did some pretty violent shit. It's not that big a deal, but it's also like he could answer those questions really poorly and like explain the situation poorly, or just like not have a good reaction to those questions being brought up to him. And there's that's kind of a interesting history. I don't think he's been in trouble since he was like 19 though, so it's kind of irrelevant. But I'm sure a lot of these jobs, this is like a super high profile job, so I'm sure they go into like your past and whatnot. Because they don't want you to like suddenly be fucking having to deal with something, or I don't know. Oh. Oh. Excuse me. Holy shit. That was rude. I apologize. I don't like yawning in front of people. I'm not even that tired. Damian Harris is out for a couple weeks, so that sucks. Yeah, I wonder who's going to win off like rookies of the years and stuff. That's one of the things I've been thinking about lately. I'm like, man, Jack Jones has probably got to be up there for rookie of the year for defense. At least in the talks anyway. Seeing as like none of the defensive like linemen are doing shit. Usually that's like a defensive end, so like guaranteed award, but I don't know. You got Jack Jones playing really good. I don't know how good Chauncey Gardner's playing. You know, Juice or whatever his name is, Juice Gardner, or Sauce Gardner, whatever the fuck you call him. You had a couple good defensive back options right away in that award this year. Wonder if they'll let the corners get some love for once. I think Hamilton is playing really well for the Ravens as well. So it'd be cool to see actual like defensive backs like get like consideration for a defensive rookie of the year. Yeah, I mean we rarely ever see like defensive player of the year like defensive backs win depoys anyway. Gilmore was the first one in a really I want to say who was the one before Gilmore that won it? I want to say that would have been probably Darrelle Revis, right? I may be missing one guy in between there. But it's like Revis, Gilmore, and I don't even know if Gilmore won Defensive Player of the Year or Revis did. He did. There ain't no fucking way he didn't. What's up, Janelle? How's it going, buddy? You know what? Sherman or Cam, one of the Seahawks players might have won it way back when. I forgot they had really good defenders. I wouldn't be surprised if Sherm won it one year. I don't know how I forgot about him for a second. Revis in like 2009. Yeah, I was gonna, or Woodson. Yeah, I was gonna say Depoy typically doesn't go to secondary guys. You have to do some unnaturally good shit, and Gilmore kind of set a standard that's going to be hard to beat because now you got to have a season like Gilmore did in like 2019, and that's almost impossible. That dude was so good despite how much he was targeted. It's like, why are they still throwing at him? What are they? Oh yeah, it's single coverage. And he just win every single matchup. That was a great year. I really enjoyed Gilmore that season. Big reason why we won a Super Bowl. Not that season. I think the season prior. And then 2019 we it's a big reason why we won a lot of games that year anyway. Our offense wasn't shit. It was a bad season, 2019. That was the year that was basically held together by tape and fucking and tapes and dreams. Basically, is what held that season together. A little bit of elbow grease, can-do attitude, and having Tom Brady. That was the main secret ingredient. This stream did pretty good. How many likes do we even got? Oh, wow. 17. That's quite a bit. Wow, we don't even got restrictions on this? That's pretty crazy. That never happens. That's awesome. Historic defense that kept their team going, but it could exactly. That's what I was talking about a little earlier. I don't think like unless you really have like good pieces on offense and like the quarterback is just bad, it's like you can't just have a good defense and like win games anymore. You can get pretty far, like you can get to the playoffs with that, but I don't think you can win a Super Bowl without a somewhat capable offense. Charles Woodson was more of a safety. Yeah, he kind of played like a floating defensive back role. You know who would play a good similar role? J.C. Jackson played a very good similar role. The Chargers are going to find out quickly that he's not like the greatest man-on-man guy. Like direct coverage. He's a lot better at letting him kind of just play in his zone and running and jumping routes. That's how the Patriots use the shit out of him. Whenever we had to put him up one-on-one with somebody, his ass got fucking burned every time. It was bad. I don't think he reads moves well. But again, once that ball's in the air, he's fast as dog shit. He can get just about to any football in a pretty decent square footage. And he's really good at timing footballs and jumping for them. Some corners are like route technicians, and they can just fucking feel out a route, and they know what the moves are gonna be. It's I don't know. I'm trying to stay alive. Trust me. I'm just running out of things to talk about, and it's getting pretty late, and I'm pretty tired. Class always having class on Wednesdays and Mondays is always just like this weird tiring thing for me where I'm just like, oh man. 3-hour classes are brutal. I was like, oh, 3 hours, that sucks. So it's like, yeah, it's like 3 hours of direct talking about shit and pretty heavy stuff. Anyway. I'm wondering if I missed any like significant news from around the NFL today. Or like just in general. Yeah, dude, the fucking 2 hours and 50 minutes is brutal. Let me tell you, it's just like, oh my god, it's just like, and I barely can sit. I get really antsy by the end. Yeah, 6 p.m. class that goes until 9 p.m. every Thursday. I don't mind it, but it's kind of inconvenient. Yeah, that's basically what all my class. I go 6:30 to 9:20 for one, and then the other one is like 3 something to 6 something. I think Foles does have a job. Isn't he the backup in Indy? Or did they release him? I'll explain it to you really simply, though. Foles is a bad quarterback. Carson Wentz is a bad quarterback. I would say Carson's more of an average quarterback that also has flashes of being like a very good quarterback in this league. Whereas like Nick Foles is a kind of bad quarterback that has flashes of being like a pretty above average quarterback in this league. And also Nick Foles is getting pretty old and he's got absolutely no athleticism in his body. So, and his arm isn't really that good either. So like you could take a shot on Carson Wentz, you get a very talented player who just fucking makes mistakes. Yeah, I'd much rather take Wentz than Foles. Foles is like extremely team limited. If you don't have a top 5 offensive line, top 5 receivers, like a top 5 everything for that guy, he's not going to make anything happen. Again, he's probably less mobile than Tom Brady is. And I don't even really know how that's possible. It's like, he caught that ball. Yeah, good for him. He caught the football. Brady didn't. It's like that's the only difference in the Philly special in those games. And it had nothing to do with athleticism. That was a terrible throw Brady got. It was way over his head. You know what I mean? Like it's... So again, what would you rather take? Would you rather take a better athlete quarterback, guy with a better arm? He just, makes a few mistakes. And again, you get the same mistakes from Nick Foles. John Dotson and Logan Thomas. Oh, really? Well, that's why I'm not... okay, that's good to know for fantasy. Yeah, I mean, again, if you have a very good offensive line, good receivers, a good running back, great coaching, then yeah, maybe you go ahead and take Foles. I don't know. He'll probably be pretty protected and he'll probably win you some games. But again, if you got like even a semi-questionable offensive line, there's no reason to take in Nick Foles. He's like so offensive line limited. It reminds me of Jared Goff. Jared Goff is very, very similar in that he needs a very good offensive line to kind of cover for him. Give him time. Because he doesn't read quickly. So. Let's say maybe Goff's a little quicker on the draw with it. Especially now that he's in Detroit. He seems to like know how to read defenses way better. Which is quite interesting to see, like a quarterback that leaves the clutches of Sean McVay plays better now. Or at least seems to be like more fundamentally sound. And now we see Stafford regressing in a major way. It's like, oh, that's interesting. McVay trying to control too much of his quarterback. Who knows? I'll probably stay live for another like 5-10 minutes or so. It's almost something like that, Fat Tater Chip. It's almost like Goff wasn't the issue in Los Angeles. Weird. It's almost like a guy who threw for 50 touchdowns one season. Has a falling out with his coach and then suddenly can't play quarterback anymore. It's almost like, I don't know. It's almost like Jared Goff wasn't the reason that he fell off. Because to me, that may, like, again, I think you can fluke out like a 30 touchdown season. I don't think you can fluke out whatever the fuck the Rams were doing in 2018. I think Sean McVay threw Jared Goff under the bus and basically went, well, he's the reason we lost. Like, I think that's what he mentally did. And then I think Jared Goff was talking that he could fuck McVay's girlfriend, and he got all butthurt and pissy about it. Lost a lot of respect for Sean, if that's true. Oh, Sean, come on, man, you can't be that weak. Yeah, that's like a real thing, by the way, or like allegedly a real thing that Goff said that that he could totally fuck Sean's girlfriend. And I think the other part said that Sean was like within earshot of hearing it or something like that, where it was like, damn, dude, that's pretty dark. I don't know. My quarter season MVP, though, I think that's something we could, I guess I could give. Right now, it comes down to like Mahomes, you got Allen, you've got Lamar, I think you got Geno Smith, and anybody else? Am I forgetting anybody? Is there like an unsung hero for a season I'm forgetting for some like fucking out of nowhere team? I feel like I am, and I'm gonna feel really goddamn stupid if once I forget about him. Yeah, Hurts, I guess. Yeah, I'm more impressed with like what I've seen out of like those guys I just mentioned. Specifically Geno Smith, my front runner. If the season ended right now, if we actually took what the word MVP meant seriously, most valuable player to the team or in the league, it's like arguably Geno Smith. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, dude, I mean, what is he doing with that? How the fuck is Seattle 2-3? Would anybody here be shocked if they would have started? No, we all probably thought they'd start 0-5, but they got 2 wins. Good offense, actually, somewhat. If they had a good defense, they might actually be undefeated largely because of the play of Geno Smith. Yeah, he's literally like fucking like he's doing this with no offensive line, 2 wide receiver. I guess his receiving core is fucking stacked though. No real running game now. Absolutely no defense. It's just like, man, that's actually somewhat impressive. It's just Geno and like 3 or 4 wide receivers, and that's it. That's all they got to throw at somebody. They're like, all right. Name of the game is, can you score more than us? Go. And the Seahawks just start throwing the shit out of it and like going crazy on people. I do wonder how the Seahawks are gonna like fare without Rashad Penny now. I think he broke his like whole leg. Herbert out of the race? Yeah, right now compared to the other guys, yeah, I would say so. This isn't like a long term. This is based on the first 4 weeks of the season, 5 weeks of the season. For sure, Kenny. I'll have to check it out later. I'm in the middle of doing something. The Broncos have traded for the wrong QB. Yeah, they always do. Like, what has Herbert done to possibly be in an MVP contention or talk? What? Struggle to beat bad teams with his loaded fucking super team? Yeah, I'm good. No thanks. Again, his fucking play is so unimpactful for that team winning games. It's almost crazy to me. Like, to me, honestly, the Chargers aren't 5-0. They've been a bust this year. The way that they were hyped up to me all offseason was I was told this team was basically going to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. Anything short of them being in the AFC Championship game, to me personally, is a failure of a season for what I was sold in the offseason about this team. Everybody told me I was dead wrong to say the Chargers weren't going to be a playoff team this year. When I told everybody, history dictates the Chargers do not make the playoffs. Something crazy will happen, and this team isn't going to, or they'll sneak in as like the last wild card team is what I think, is what I gave them. And everybody literally said I was stupid. I was told that was the worst take anybody's ever seen. It's like, do you not know the long history of this fucking wildly inept franchise? The second I heard that they still had the doctor that popped Tyrod Taylor's lung, I went, oh, they're just not. That's not a serious football team. No, they're just. What is that? How is everybody always hurt? It's just like, what is this team? How is this like? The Patriots get Hunter Henry, right? One of the guys who were always hurt on the Chargers. He hasn't been hurt yet. Well, I don't think he's been banged up or even like nicked up. Like, I don't think he's gotten like a cut on his finger. None of it. I don't even know how that's possible. How you can go from being like an oft injured, like injury prone player like Hunter Henry to just, I don't know, I just don't get hurt anymore playing for the Patriots. They're just an unlucky, dude. It's like something's like weirdly unlucky about that team. I don't know. Yeah, it feels like they're cursed. Like they should have Super Bowls. Like, it's like, man, you guys have had some really good teams to just not have Super Bowls. Yeah, like you said in 2012, or like in the mid to late 2000s when they had Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates. It's like, what? Like, they have some of the more baffling losses to me in like the leagues. Like, it's just like, you remember the year that they like went like 13-3 with Phil? It was like Phil Rivers last year, and then like they went and played the Patriots in the first round of the playoffs, and the Patriots beat them like 44-30. And it was one of them things where everybody was like, the Chargers are finally gonna do it, because I think that was the year the Patriots won the Super Bowl. Actually, it was one of them years where everybody was like, the Chargers are finally gonna beat them. They're gonna beat the Patriots in the playoffs. Because like the Chargers were averaging like 40 points a game that year. I think it was the last year Phillip Rivers was on the team, and then they ran into the Patriots, who had been scoring like winning games like 23-15, just sneaking in because we didn't have any receivers. And then all of a sudden the Patriots just went on to score like 40 a game across the whole playoffs. Played the Rams in the Super Bowl and won 13-3. Do you know how fun of a season that was for me, watching my team retard out victories in the way that it did, and then quickly flip it around? That was the first year I think I did YouTube as well. You want to know what my preseason prediction was? One of my very first predictions I ever made was that the Patriots would play the Rams in the Super Bowl, and that the Patriots would win, and that Tom Brady would retire. That was my first ever hot take on the channel, and I was pretty dead on, except for the whole Brady retiring thing. I've been having crazy picks since I've been in the game. Not picks, but like, you know, fucking takes. I'm pretty good at takes. Usually pretty measured. All right, though, guys. I've been live for about an hour 45. I'm out of things to talk about if you can't tell. It's a little after midnight where I'm at, and I want to go to bed in a little bit. Yeah, Brady needs help. He needs to go see, like, he needs to go to one of them outpatient clinics in Florida. That, like, people get Tom has to go to like NA. He's just sitting there and they're like, hi, some chick's like, hi, my name's Jocelyn. I sunk dick for heroin. and then it's like, my name's Bill. I'm stealing money from my parents for my alcoholism. And he's like shaking and shit. And then it gets to Tom. My name's Tom. I don't really do it. I guess I lost my whole family just to let a bunch of guys pile up on top of me and beat the shit out of me. They're like, dang, what are you addicted to? He's like, professional football. They're like, all right, somebody get this fucking guy out of here. What's up, Jose? You got some asada fries? Oh, that's nice, man. Oh, I'm sorry, Jose. I mean, there's a whole stream you can play back if you want to listen. I'm about to start wrapping it up because it's like midnight where I'm at. Been live for a couple hours already. Or, well, I've been live for hour 45. And this is, you know, like Wednesdays are kind of just like quick little news blurbs. And I don't know, I'm just kind of tired. I'm just running out of, I'm like out of steam and out of things to talk about. I apologize. For sure, yeah. I'll be live tomorrow for the football game. I'm sure like that's not like everyone's probably like, well, that doesn't sound like the funnest game. But again, we'll be live for it. Probably just making fun of it, just like kind of shitting on it. Yeah, have a good night, Fat Tater Chip and Jose and Shane, everybody. All right, everybody. We'll be live again tomorrow, of course, for the Commanders and the Bears game. Regardless of how bad that game's going to be, we'll still be live for it. We'll just probably fuck around with it for a little while. If it gets too bad, we'll just dip. Like we just won't put ourselves through something like that. But I'm sure there's stuff we could like do and laugh at and fucking just kind of, you know, just a light stream, you know? We don't have to take anything too serious. All right, everybody. Thank you again for another fun stream tonight. Thank you to everyone who left a like. I appreciate that very much. It helps the stream out tremendously, helps the channel out. So thank you. Enjoy the stream. If you were listening to it back, thank you for listening. If you listened all the way, I appreciate you. Helps the channel out, and you know, all that YouTube mumbo jumbo. And I don't know. I'll be live again tomorrow, guys. So you know, if you want to tune in then, I appreciate it. If not, I'll see you when I see you next. Probably Friday. I appreciate you, Kenny. I'll be sure to go leave some likes on your picks video, like always. Check out Kenny's picks videos. He just put one up. Check out my picks video if you haven't. It's doing pretty good this week. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, that's about it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, whenever you listen to this. Go Lions. Go Tigers. And of course, it's always go Patriots. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you.